Forms of abuse are obvious: bruises, broken things, explosive fights, but other forms of control happen quietly, in private. These decisions about survivors' own body and their future are made for them. Today's question touches on something many people don't even realize has a name: reproductive coercion. It happens when an abusive partner, manipulates birth control, pressures pregnancy, and interferes with reproductive choices as a way to trap somebody in the relationship. And the emotional damage from that kind of control can last long after the relationship ends. This is Survivor to Survivor.
Survivor to survivor, break the silence. In the depths of silence, a voice emerges. A voice that says, "You are not alone." Welcome to Survivor, where strength rises through shared stories, where pain transforms into resilience, where survivors connect and empower each other. Your story matters. Your voice matters. You matter. Join the movement. Subscribe now. Welcome to Survivor to Survivor.
All right. Well, we are back and we have another email in that I wanted to address. It said, "Hi, Survivor to Survivor. I never really said this part out loud, and something's been bothering me since I left my ex. During the relationship, he constantly talked about having a baby. At first, it seemed really sweet. He would say things like, 'You're such a good mom,' or 'I can't wait to have a baby with you.' But as time went on, it started to feel different. He would get angry when we talked about wanting to wait until we were more stable financially. He accused me of not being committed to the relationship if I didn't want a baby right away. There were a few times I'm pretty sure he interfered with my birth control. Once I found my pills missing from my purse. Another time he refused to use protection even though we had agreed we would. When I tried to talk about it, he'd laugh and say things like, 'What's the big deal? Couples have babies all the time.' Looking back now, it feels like he wanted me to be tied to him permanently. I'm scared because parts of me wonder if he wasn't trying to get me pregnant so I couldn't leave. Is this actually a thing abusers do?" So, yes, that's the simple answer, right? Yes. What you describe absolutely happens, and it has a name: reproductive coercion. Reproductive coercion is when someone tries to control another person's reproductive choices to gain power to keep them trapped in a relationship. It can look like tampering with the birth control, pressuring someone into becoming pregnant, refusing protection during sex, sabotaging the contraceptives, threatening abandonment, or even punishment if the pregnancy doesn't happen, or pushing pregnancy as a way to help lock down the relationship and make you so much closer. For abusers, pregnancy can feel like permanent control. A child can create lifelong ties that are emotional, financial, legal, even after the abusive relationship ends. And some abusers understand that and they use it strategically. That doesn't mean every conversation about having a family is abusive. But when someone ignores your boundaries and interferes with your birth control or pressures you into making reproductive choices that you're not ready for, that crosses a line. It crosses over into control. You know, healthy relationships respect each other. The fact that you're reflecting on these moments now shows that your instincts that you were picking up on, definitely trust those. It was not safe. Many survivors look back and realize what seemed like a romantic excitement about having a baby was actually pressure and manipulation. Reproductive coercion is deeply violating because it removes the autonomy from one of the most personal decisions somebody can make. If anyone listening to this episode has experienced something similar, please know this. What happened to you was not love, it was control. And recognizing it now is an important step towards reclaiming your power. So, reproductive coercion is something survivors often recognize only after leaving the relationship. And if you've experienced pressure or manipulation around pregnancy, birth control, in an abusive situation or relationship, what helped you recognize it for what it was? Your voice might help someone realize that they're not imagining things. Also, Survivor to Survivor exists because people are brave enough to ask questions others are afraid to say out loud. And if you'd like to submit your question in an upcoming episode, email us at podcast@breakthesilencedv.org and you will remain anonymous. Also, programs like Survivor to Survivor are made possible by people who care about survivors having a place to be heard. You can support this work through Walmart's Spark Good Roundup program. Visit www.walmart.com/sparkgood and search for Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence as your 501c3 charity of choice and round up your purchase to support survivors. Small actions create real impact. And we will see you next Friday on